Good day, friends. I'm Kerry Dillinger. This is Bible Class Topics, and you can see from your screen that today's lesson will be Just Be Yourself. I've been back in the old church bulletins again, and I found this article written by Brother Ken Green back in the early 2000s, and I want to share it with you today. Let's open our Bibles, if you wish, to 1 Kings 14, verse 6. I have it here on our screen, and I'll read it for you now. And so it was, when Ahijah heard the sound of her footsteps as she came through the door, he said, "Come in, wife of Jeroboam. Why do you pretend to be another person? For I have been sent to you with bad news." Do you have a spare 5 minutes? Let's talk about this verse together. There was trouble at the palace. The son of King Jeroboam was gravely ill. Jeroboam had led Israel to sin in worshiping other gods and molded images, but now he could find no help from those sources. He was desperate, and in his desperation, he instructed his wife to disguise herself as a peasant, take a gift, and inquire of Ahijah, the prophet of Jehovah. Ahijah and other true prophets had been separated from the king's court for many years. Ahijah was now old and blind, but he recognized through the Lord the wife of Jeroboam the moment she stepped into his presence. Her pretense became an obstacle rather than a stepping stone. And you know that's probably true of all of us. It's always better to just be ourselves. We do not help ourselves or our cause by play acting or putting on. As a matter of fact, the word hypocrite from the Bible translates into English as play acting, faking it. Anytime we present our sincerity, that will always be appreciated and received more than wearing a mask will. When we try to make an impression by exaggerating how important, dignified, smart, or clever we are, we generally fall on our faces before we're done. Have you noticed that generally the little dogs bark a lot more than the big dogs? Big dogs don't have to show off. One of the old-time Nashville musicians was talking about Bill Monroe's habit of singing out of the side of his mouth. If you don't know who Bill Monroe is, he's known as the king of bluegrass music. And yes, in his younger years, he often sang out the side of his mouth. This method was initiated because Mr. Monroe, before he sought out dental work, was in very poor dental health. But the old-timer said it's a wonder how many younger singers started singing out of the sides of their mouths. Brother Ken Green, in his article, said that as a young preacher he tended to model himself, after certain speakers who impressed him, and he even adopted some of their mannerisms. He then began to notice others doing the same. Well, that's not all bad. There's a sense in which there's nothing wrong with being a copycat. If there's someone who does their work effectively, we would be wise to learn all we can from that individual. Our personalities are composed of an inner condition that can be developed to a large extent. If we lack desirable qualities, we can be helped by studying those attributes in others and incorporating them into our own practice. However, we need to ensure that such a stance originates from within and is not merely an external pose. When this is true, we will develop our own personalities and create our own natural and unique mannerisms. The Bible says things like, man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart, 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. And the Bible says, as he thinks in his heart, so he is, says the wise man in Proverbs 23, verse 7. Then Jesus, the Son of God, said things like, you make clean the outside of the cup and platter. You need to cleanse first that which is within, that the outside of them may be clean also. See Matthew 23, verses 25 and 26. We do need an ideal. And make no mistake, we're all in need of a makeover. God has provided the ideal. Listen to the Apostle Peter in 1 Peter 2:21. For to this you were called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example. Leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. The needed makeover will come as our new self is progressively conformed to the image of his Son. See Paul the Apostle in Romans 8, verse 29. Once again, our lesson, Just Be Yourself, comes from an article written by Ken Green. Thank you for your support of the channel. We're approaching, if we haven't already, reached 1,000 subscribers. And that is a milestone for a niche channel such as we have going here. If you would like, comment, subscribe, and share, I would appreciate it. And this picture of a notebook laying on a desktop comes from Pexels.com and was posted by MESSALA CIULLA. Can you come back and study with me again soon? We hope to post another video in just a day or two. Until then, may God bless.